This is Jon Gilbert. I'm excited to bring to you Social Distancing, sponsored by Suddenlink. We have three head coaches with us today. We have head baseball coach Cliff Godwin, head track and field coach Curt Kraft, and our lacrosse coach Amanda Moore. The first question that I want to start with is, obviously you all coach spring sports. You heard in a very abrupt fashion that your sport was canceled. I do want you to each talk about what it meant to you and what conversations you had with your student athletes when you first heard the news. Amanda, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, I think, unreal, unfair were kind of the first words that, in our conversation with the team that we were having, but certainly health and safety of our team and of this country are number one. For us, what we have communicated, since day one, since our season started, is that we were going to face adversity and prosperity and, in a season. And obviously, while we were on the road to what felt like victory overall, that being the best that we can still be on that road. It just won't necessarily be game planning as much as we like. We'd be getting prepared to play Florida this week, and that's not the case, but it doesn't mean we can't still work on getting better.
Coach Kraft?
Well, I was probably in a really unique position at the time. It's kind of one of those things you'll never forget where you were at during that moment. But on Thursday, I was at the Indoor National Track and Field Championships in Albuquerque, New Mexico, when we got the call of the season being canceled for all spring sports, and in particular that national championship where we were at. So Ryan Davis was a kid that was at the national meet at that moment. But as Amanda just alluded to, with everything that's been going on, obviously the first thing that was on the forefront of our minds was the safety of the student athletes, and not so much about the season and what was going to happen at that point. But uncharted territory, as you've said, John, before, a lot of stuff is coming up, but we'll get through it, we'll work through it. But you do feel bad for the student athletes, especially those seniors, and I know they're trying to work through that. But we were right in the middle of the National Indoor Track Championships when that got canceled.
Coach Godwin?
Well, I just want to point out this championship ring here because I haven't worn it since we received it back in October at the football game. And I need some positive things in my life, and this is positive. But it's been a really tough situation for our guys, for us as coaches, and everybody in the world. It's different. There's no manual for it. And we're just taking it day by day. And it's really hard for me, not just because the season's canceled, it's the human interaction with our players. And so we yesterday put in our teamworks that the ECU Baseball Challenge is for every one of our players and every one of our staff members to FaceTime or call a teammate or a coach, and a different one every single day, just to have some of that connection that we're missing with baseball season being canceled.
How many student athletes do you have in Greenville, North Carolina right now, and how are you communicating with them? Coach Kraft, we're going to start with you.
John, as you know, we've got a large team between men and women. We've got roughly about 70 kids. And at this point, the majority of that group is back home. There are very, very few here. One of our international ladies is still here in town from Spain. There's a few others, but it's just a very few, few that are here at this point. And how are we communicating with them? It's funny you would ask that. I've been doing it through text messaging, and I've reached out to each individual, both the males and the females, and just checking in on them, and seeing how they're doing, seeing if there's anything they need from me, but have been communicating with them through text messaging.
Yeah. Coach Godwin?
We have 5 guys out of our 36 that are here in town. Those guys, a lot of them live together, so they're there together, and we have been communicating text message, calling, FaceTiming.
And Amanda?
Yeah, we have 2 of the 35 that are still here in town, both upperclassmen living off campus. One is actually a nursing student, and it's FaceTime. It's a lot of texting. Actually, just texting with them last night, making sure that they're safe and taken care of. But they decided to stay here in a safe situation.
Coach Godwin, I'm going to start with you on this next one. Again, we're on social distancing, sponsored by Suddenlink. Tell me what you've learned about yourself through this process.
When this is taken away from you, you learn how much you appreciate your guys and your family. And I'm not married. I don't have kids, but the 36 players, they're my kids. So I don't have them to see every day and to have the conversations face to face. That's been like I said earlier, that's been the toughest thing for me. I love competition. I'm an extremely competitive human being, but it's more important that I have the human interaction with our players.
Amanda, talk to the group about what you've learned about yourself during this time.
Just reaffirm what Cliff said, that the relationships that you have with your players. I mean, and also just the passion for coaching. I tasted a little bit of this the first year we were here starting a program. We didn't have a team to coach. So it was really, that was challenging, starting the program that first year. And, I think the other thing that I've probably learned about myself is just that it's okay to be vulnerable and express emotion to your team and to be really genuine with that emotion, and that it's not a sign of weakness. It's kind of what we told the players. This hurts so much losing our season because we really believed in what we were doing and we believed in each other and that we were, on the road to a lot of growth. So it hurts.
Yeah. Coach Kraft, what have you learned throughout this process?
Well, one of the first things I've learned, John, is that I've always watched the news. I've always usually watched the NBC News in the evening for a half hour, 6:30 to 7. But I've learned that I've watched a lot of news over the last many, many weeks. And I keep switching back and forth between MSNBC and CBS and NBC and Fox. So I've watched a lot of news. That's one thing I've learned about myself. Another thing that I've learned about myself is the fact that I can't sit still. This is my 35th year of coaching. And as somebody just mentioned, there's no manual, to this whole deal. So I've learned that I got to stay busy, and we miss the kids, as Amanda alluded to. So between being bored at this point, not having the kids to coach and travel, I've learned that these weekends that we're having free now, I've never witnessed something like that before in all my coaching days. So, but as Amanda, I think, mentioned, the family thing, reached out to brothers, reached out to mom more. So just have been coming closer to family.
All right, we're going to do a little lightning round here. Quick answers. We're going to go around the screen. The first question is, again, you're part of social distancing of ECU Athletics, sponsored by Suddenlink. What restaurants have you used in Greenville for takeout? I'm going to start. The few restaurants that I've used for takeout over the last couple days have been Jersey Mike's, Logan's, Basil's, and Roadhouse. Coach Moore, we're going to start with you.
Okay, we got takeout from the Rick House. We got takeout from Bee's Barbecue. We went. Yeah, they basically gave us. I think they just packed up a whole hog in a box. I'm eating barbecue for the next week. We went to Tapped, which is takeout bottle shop.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think we're doing Basil's tonight. So there you go.
Call early. I've got a special number that you can call. I'll text it to you later. Cliff, what restaurants have you been to?
Fresh Watch, To Go, Noodles and Company, Zoe's Kitchen, Roadhouse, Mellow Mushroom.
Coach Kraft.
Panera, Jersey Mike's, and Subway.
And now, next question. What Netflix shows or TV shows have you been watching lately? Coach Kraft.
Yes, my wife loves Lifetime channel, the movie channel Lifetime. We have watched, I'm keeping track, a running total. We've watched a total of 5 movies on Lifetime.
Yeah, good. Amanda?
we just started the documentary Tiger King on Netflix.
It's hilarious. Is it good? Worth a watch?
Yes, it is. It's really it's interesting.
Coach Godwin.
I just want to get a plug in for my favorite show that I've watched already, but Suits. I would like to be Harvey Specter in my next life. So it's a great show. It was on USA. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix or Amazon Prime, but everybody should watch Suits.
Hold on. I don't know if I'm going to be allowed to say this or not, but I'm also watching Schitt's Creek. If anybody hasn't watched it, it's hilarious.
What is it on?
It's on Netflix. Well, it's technically Pop TV, but if you have Netflix, they're streaming all of the seasons. It's hilarious. But you might have it's SCHITTS.
Right, I'm familiar. At what time during the day, with this new schedule everyone's on, what time of the day would you say you take your first shower? Amanda, we'll start with you.
Like 9 o'clock after Cade goes down for his first nap of the day.
Coach Kraft.
I'm taking multiple. I usually, take the first round around 6 o'clock. My wife is an elementary school teacher, so she's got to get up and still go to work. So 6 o'clock, and then I'm working out. I get on my elliptical in the afternoon. So, probably around 3. So 6 and 3.
Coach Godwin.
Mine's probably around 9:30. I get up and I've been walking with a bad knee and then doing my breathing exercises and then my hot, cold shower. So about 9:30.
And what I want to know, again, you're on social distancing, ECU Athletics, sponsored by Suddenlink. What 3 things are you looking for in a recruit? Coach Godwin, we'll start with you.
Someone who wants to get better. Someone who has the talent to help us win a national championship, and someone who is a great teammate and will help ECU baseball in all areas, not just on the baseball field, but in the community and also in the classroom.
Coach Kraft?
Probably the biggest things with me would be somebody that shows a lot of passion, would be number one. Somebody that shows a lot of pride. In this case, we're in the ECU uniform. And as Coach Godwin alluded to, probably somebody that's a very, very tough competitor.
Coach Barnes.
Outside of the physical attributes, speed, strength, size, I mean, for me, it's fight. How quickly can we evaluate what you're going to do in a 50-50 situation? You're going to fight or you're going to fold. And the other part is, how much do you want to be challenged? We're going to challenge you here to get better and just to pursue comprehensive excellence. So, don't want somebody that wants easy straight, want somebody that wants a challenge.
Now, we're in interesting times. We're all having to rely on technology a little more. What ECU athletic staff employee, either coach or a staff member, do you think is having the hardest time adapting to technology? Coach Godwin, we're going to start with you.
Coach Kraft. Coach Kraft, that's easy. That's number one. It's not even it shouldn't even be a vote. It's number one. And he would agree with me.
Well, I've got my cell phone here. I've got my cell phone, so I'm not bad. But go ahead, Cliff. I'd probably be in the top 3, no question.
Amanda.
Oh man. Who would be somebody funny?
You want to think about it, man? I got mine.
Yeah, you got yours.
Go ahead, Coach.
Coach Overton.
I was going to say that you and him would be tied, Coach Kraft. So
no.
Trophy.
Coach Overton.
I was gonna say something like Joey, but Joey's probably on top of this. I'm just picturing Joey jammed up. He can't get to the fields. He can't video in to see the fields and the facilities. Something about that. Something about Joey.
Oh, Joey! Hey, Joey's mowing the grass. He mowed the baseball field yesterday.
That's an important during this time. The grass is still growing. As we wrap our social distancing up, sponsored by Suddenlink, I do want you each to answer what makes East Carolina so special. Coach Kraft, we're going to start with you.
The first thing that comes to my mind is it's a college town. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of pride here. So the 16 years that I've been here, probably the thing that makes it the most special is that passion, that pride, that family atmosphere, the purple and gold, everybody all in, if you will. You know, you go to the business places, you go to the eating establishments, the bars, the restaurants. It's all about ECU. You can see it in pictures on the walls. You can see it in the dress attire that they're wearing in their business places. So I think all of that stuff, and you put it together, and it adds up to one thing. It adds up to Pirates.
Amanda.
I think it's just the unique spirit that everybody that is a ECU Pirate or fan has, just this loyalty to the Pirate brand and motto, and just so proud of what this university, their experience, their degree. I think that loyalty and pride is what's unique and so special about the spirit of this place.
Coach Godwin, obviously, you're a former student athlete here as well. Tell us what East Carolina means to you.
Well, for me, it's different because I chose to come to school here back in the spring of '96, and I tell people all the time, best decision of my life. Did not know that at the time. My mom graduated from East Carolina. I grew up 25 miles down the road, told her I would never attend ECU, and that was the best decision of my life, was to come to ECU. And it's the people, it's the coaches, it's the fans, it's the student athletes, it's the community that is totally bought into East Carolina University because it is a college town. So the people is what makes East Carolina different.
I agree. I'm going to close. I've been on the job 15 months. It's been a wonderful community, a great region, a great institution. I couldn't be more excited to be leading this athletic department, working with each of you with your respective sports. We've got a lot of exciting things going on. I just couldn't be more proud to be a Pirate. We are going to get through this. It will pass, and I do think that we'll come back in the fall as competitive as ever. I want to thank each of you for participating. You've been experiencing social distancing from ECU Athletics. We want to thank our sponsor, Suddenlink, and go Pirates.